YouTube? This is Necrostevo, and you're watching my 60th narrated Wi-Fi battle. This is a match that I had against Coulbie, one of my Twitter followers. He changed his Twitter name, so I'm going to call him Coulbie because that's the name he gave me. But we had a really good match. We had 3 matches in a row. He won one, and I won one, and we're going to see how this one right here goes. He starts off with Polytoad on the Rain Dance team. This is an OU match. I was really surprised that he hit the Hypnosis because you will see later that he does not have wide lens or zoom lens or anything like that. He did have a Magneton on his team, but I wasn't really worried about it because I knew it was not running Hidden Power Fires because of the rain, and Hidden Power Fighting wouldn't take me on in one shot, so I wasn't really worried about it. He goes out into Scrafty. I didn't want to deal with any high jump kicks, so I went out to Sableye just to burn him and see if he had Shed Skin or if he was running Moxie. And it turns out that he is probably running Moxie, because this whole time that he is burned, he does not get the Shed Skin, which is really, really nice. And now that I taunted him, he can't set up any more Dragon Dances either. So Shroud is doing a good job locking down that Sableye. And here I just substitute just to scout to see if he's going to try to high jump kick or crunch, trying to predict the switch. I knew he probably wouldn't high jump kick, but I wanted to make sure that he was going to crunch, because I was actually thinking about switching into Ferrothorn right there. But if I did that on a turn where he predicted that and then kicked me in the face, that wouldn't be very good. So, you know, that was mainly for scouting purposes. We both make a double switch here. He goes out to his Vaporeon, while I, thinking that he's going to crunch again, I go back out into my Ferrothorn. And here, he may have predicted a switch to my Salamence, or he may have just been going for that to getting good neutral damage. Either way, I see that he's Life Orb, which tells me that he is going to be a offensive Vaporeon, so he has an offensive Polytoad and an offensive Vaporeon. Kind of worried about those two, and there's no point in me setting up Toxic Spikes with my Tentacool because, of course, the hydration ability that Vaporeon gets. Here he does finally go back out into his Magnezone, and I really just wanted to get up my rocks to limit his switching around. And he shows me that he's a dual screening Magnezone, so he probably has dual screens, an electric type attack, and I don't know what the last one is. But since he is just going to stay in here and get up his screens, that gives me a chance to set up all my entry hazards. So I get up all 3 layers of spikes, and I also get up my stealth rocks. And that's going to be really important later on in the match when he is taking a lot of entry hazard damage. He goes on into Dragonite. I was thinking maybe I should switch to Sableye and burn it, but most Dragonite carry Lumberry, and I'd rather, you know, it's not too bad to get the paralysis on him because it's going to slow him down, and if he has Lumberry, I can burn it off now. Also, I had a chance of missing the Will-O-Wisp, which I didn't really want to risk that, because that would be really bad to have Dragonite running around the team. Pretty much running train on my entire team. I go out to Sableye just to make sure he doesn't set up any more Dragon Dances. Of course, the multi-skill is already broken because of the Stealth Rocks, and I do taunt him just to avoid that. I was thinking of going Substitute just to scout to see what he was going to go for, but I figured he would just attack me knowing that the taunt is coming this time. And that's fine. Sableye really did its job in pretty much neutering the Scrafty, and here it made sure that it didn't set up any more Dragon Dances, so Shroud did a good job this match. I go out to my Alakazam, and I make a really stupid play and forget that Dragonite often carries extreme speed. For some reason, that completely blanked out of my mind. Otherwise, I would have just gone into Ferrothorn. So that was kind of a stupid play. But here I see that he's also Life Orbed, so he's carrying very offensive Rain Team, even though a lot of those Pokemon are very bulky. So I do see this as an opportunity to go into my Salamence so that I can just Dragon Tail him away. Of course, the Reflect is still up, so it is going to cut down on that damage. Otherwise, I probably would have killed him. This is a bulky Salamence that runs a Sleep, Talk, Rest, Roar, and Dragon Tail, and it was really difficult to breed because I had to breed it on my Platinum version. No, I had to breed it on my Diamond version, send it to Heart Gold Soul Silver to teach it the Sleep Talk, then migrate it over. So that took a long time to get that, but definitely worth it. I have had a lot of fun playing around with it. As long as I get the entry hazards up, it is very useful to have around. I do Dragon Tail him out into Polytoad, and he hypnosises me again. I don't know how he got the thing to hit twice. That move never hits for me. And unfortunately, he gets the critical hit on the Ice Beam. That mattered in the sense that I would have been able to take another one, but unless I had a 1-turn wake, he would have knocked me out anyway. So I do go out to Infernape here, and I need to be very careful with playing it with Infernape because since I made that stupid mistake earlier and let my Alakazam die, Infernape is now my only real damage dealer, and I have to play very carefully with it, otherwise it's just going to get killed. So he goes out to Dragonite, takes a good amount of Stealth Rock damage. I figure he is just going to Extreme Speed, and I didn't want to take the risk of that. I have Mach Punch, but of course Extreme Speed has higher priority. And I could have swapped out to Salamence, but I didn't want him predicting that and going for the Dragon Claw. So the best move here was just to go out to my specially defensive wall Tentacruel, Dark Cloud, which is actually Cloud of Darkness, but the stupid 10-letter word count. Darn it. But it takes that relatively well for not being a physical wall of any sort. He goes out to Magnezone to set up more screens, I presume. He takes a pretty good chunk of entry hazard damage. I go for the Rain Boosted Scald, hoping for the burn. Of course, the only reason to run Scald over surface so that you can burn things, and I get it right there. So that is very, very nice. He sets up the light screen, but I know that after the burn damage, based on how much that did the first time, I'm going to be able to knock him out, barring min-max damage. So I stay in and go for yet another Scald, which is perfect because I take down the Magnezone, and I don't have to deal with it anymore. I'm really interested to know what that Magnezone's last attack was. Maybe Explosion, so that the screens would have more time. I'm not real sure. He probably would have done a little bit better to set up Reflect, because I do have Infernape left, and that's my only real attacking Pokemon I have left. So if he had set up Reflect, it is very likely that Vaporeon would have been able to live a close combat later on. But you'll see that in a little bit here. He comes in and goes for Fake Out, just to kind of, do a little bit more damage to me. I think he really should have gone straight for the Crunch, in my opinion, because I go for Acid Spray to lower his special defense, and since the light screen is up, that basically puts his special defense back at neutral, because of course light screen increases it, then Acid Spray cuts it right back down. So now his special defense is lowered again. I can go for the Stab Rain Boosted, the Stab Rain Boosted Scald, and do as much damage as I can. So seeing the damage that he did earlier with Crunch, I didn't think he was going to be able to kill me. And he is not. Of course, because of the burn, he's still at minus 1, because burn cuts your attack in half. So that is great. Cloud of Darkness is able to take out several Pokemon here and be a good utility right at the end of the game. I could have gone for the Scald on Vaporeon, but I didn't want him bringing in Lapras, which can also carry Water Absorb. I didn't know if he had Water Absorb or what he would have on Lapras. So I just went for the safe Acid Spray. It didn't do much damage, but on the off chance he maybe tried to set up or something, then I could damage him some more. I didn't really know. I just didn't want to switch. But now, after all that entry hazard damage, and of course the little bit of Life Orb recoil he took, he's not going to be able to take a close combat. And like I said before, if he had Reflect up, Vaporeon is fairly bulky even when it's offensive, so maybe he would have been able to take it. I also have Thunder Punch on this Infernape just because Stone Edge always misses for me pretty much. And we're coming down to the end of the wire here, as the only thing I have left besides this Infernape is my Salamence, and his only attacking move is Dragon Tail. I have -1 defense. He goes for Ice Shard, probably hoping for the crit. He doesn't get it, and I'm just able to finish him right off with the close combat. So that was a great game, Coulbie. I really enjoyed it. I don't play too much OU, so when I do play, I like to build a team and really focus on the type of thing I'm trying to do with it. But I hope you all enjoyed that match, and I will try to get up some more stuff this weekend. Look forward to more chapters of the Nuzlocke run, and maybe even Tamoria's story. I put those in playlists, so now they're easier to view. I hope you'll have a great weekend. Bye now.